Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I just dropped my phone. Cats, dogs, and frogs, right? Madden 21 is upon us. Why can't I hear anything? Oh, I haven't muted. Oh, they're not playing any sound anyway. Madden 21 is here, and I absolutely cannot wait. They really haven't started. Well, I'll show it to you guys in a bit. They really haven't showed anything just yet, but I think I will show it to you guys in a bit. Yo, what's up, Batman? What's up, homie? They haven't started. I went live when they went live. They're just showing a couple cards right now. Yo, what's up, Kemet? My man said chicken McNugget. Was a homie. Christian McCaffrey with the 85 speed. They're not. What about do hear sound? How are you playing it so early? I will be playing it early. Oh, welcome back, Batman. Welcome back. I will be playing it early. Thank you. I appreciate it, homie. I will be playing it early, but not today. Today is just Yo's a baseball kid. Today is just they going over everything in Ultimate Team. Been here since Madden 17. I think I had this hat since Madden 17. Might have been before Madden 17. I don't know. Yo's up, Lord Game. I wish they would go hurry up and start though. I don't know how long this is gonna be. But I do wish they would go ahead and hurry up and start Stefan Gilmer with the 88 play red. Like, they might have a battle pass in this, y'all. They might have a battle pass where you can. I'm hoping they do. So get a battle pass where you can unlock. Well, in the yard you can already unlock this stuff. I don't know if y'all seen the yard yet, but it's definitely beautiful. Like you can unlock all of this stuff. Attacks based on race, racial or ethnic gender, identity, expression, religion, heritage, all that stuff. They don't like it. I'm surprised they kept Superstar KO. I like Superstar KO. I like it. It wasn't. See, with Superstar KO, they got to update it. I feel like they almost got to update it weekly, right? They need a team on it. They need to put a team. Yours or Lofty Boy, you do a Madden rebuild. There's gonna be so much stuff for me playing Madden. I bought the regular edition, so I gotta wait. Buddy, why are you
Oh,
doing it?
hey, what's up, Jake? Just getting ready for the stream, and all that kind of good stuff. How are you doing, sir?
It's low
Good,
for
APK. How
me,
about
or is
you?
it just
I'm good. Hey, I see the chat over here. Guys, if you know what reference to the movie that is, let us know in the chat. Let us also know in the chat. Last time that we did this stream from an
yeah,
audio
it's them. It's
perspective,
them.
people said it
Is
was
the
a
full
little bit
game out?
low,
No,
so
not
Jake
yet.
and I were working through some stuff. I'm gonna monitor my
I'm
volume
gonna try to
here
turn
and
them up
there
regardless
to make
though.
sure things are okay. People saying Wall Street. There you go. They got it. So good stuff. Great, Jake. Great to have you here. As many people know, we're going to be doing the Mutt live stream. Last year when we did this, it actually was a very long stream. We
A little
tried to,
long.
yeah,
A little long.
we tried to cover everything. I think that stream, believe it or not, I was running, I think, 102-degree fever, which was kind of crazy. But you were a champ, man. You kind of rode it all the way through, and I appreciate your help on that. But today we're going to go ahead and talk about kind of the essentials, like new features coming to Madden Ultimate Team. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the programs, some of the stuff that's already been there, and give a little bit more information just to let people know in the community as well, is that there are going to be probably some videos out there, communities be talking about stuff. We'll be monitoring questions. We got Nat Gibbs behind the scenes kind of getting some questions, and we'll find ways to answer those kind of coming up to launch and also before worldwide launch on August 28th. So all that kind of out of the way, though, I also want to mention, guys, we are doing this from home still. We're not in the studio. You may hear dogs, you may see children running around or other kind of things. We will try to restrict as many potty breaks that we do during the stream to kind of stay consistent. But I do want to say thank you guys for showing up, kind of being here. It's been a little while since we've done a stream. But Jake, that being said, what have you been doing in the off season, my friend?
Yeah, no, just even before we get into that, definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know it has been quite a while. Super excited to get on and talk tonight. Shout out to Agent K and everybody behind the scenes and getting this set up. So thank you very much for having me, community. Good to talk with you again. So question, what's been going on? I mean, a lot, right? Like, nothing's very normal anymore. And so sure we're going to get into that and talk about some of the specifics and how COVID has sort of impacted a little bit of what we've been building this year, and as well as just some of the amazing efforts that continue to happen from the team. Just a lot of will and desire, and kind of just thinking about it a couple days ago. It's just like at this point in time, you can't fake if you love this job or not. We've been put into a situation where, you've got to be all in, and, there's a lot of challenges that you got to overcome. And first and foremost, EA has been fantastic with making sure that we have the support that we need. But really, the team and the camaraderie, all those things really get, challenged, at a time like this. And super
really
proud. Certainly
right now,
the most challenging,
it's gonna be crazy.
cycle in my 9 years that I've been a part of, but, in a lot of ways, the most rewarding. So, super pumped to get into it. That's a lot of pre-ramble. So what have I been doing? A decent amount, so it's still obviously very much involved with Madden Ultimate Team, trying to make sure that we're putting together a great story, helping the team and making sure that we're kind of cultivating the right, things that we want to go after, and prioritization, all that good stuff. But as we've announced, and talked about and started to share a little bit more recently, we have, the Yard coming on board. And, again, shout out to JP, Clint, so many more beyond those two folks who obviously played an instrumental role in it. But, another really big time mode, that's going to get treated like a live service. That's the thing that's going to continue to get updates to it, both in terms of, what you're playing on the field, as well as that vanity story that's coming. So been plugged in a little bit there, taking on a little bit more of a creative hat over the greater live content project. But man, again, super pumped. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, no,
all these answers won't be this long, I promise.
No, it's great. I mean, hey, we're going to get the pre-stream jitters out of our system because we got a lot to cover, and I think at the end of the day, it's I wish I could have like a rolling credit score of all the people that have been working on this. I recently came back and huge shout out to Kevin and a lot of other people that managed, Chris Conlin out there, who helped me get a PC build. And this is the interesting thing in this climate that players may not understand, but to give you guys a little bit of context is typically in the studio, we have an Xbox kit, and I can go over and I can get into a certain kind of environment and I can capture all these images. And now I have to do them on a PC with all this debug text. And we had to find ways to remove that so we can get you guys clean images for social. So like huge shout out to Paige, where she's been tweeting out all the stuff. The top 7 MUP players yesterday, all of the players, like the top 3 for a team, she was doing that. But like literally over the last 3 to 4 days, I've just been, all I've been doing is in that environment, capturing images, getting that stuff out there, making sure that we were getting the ratings correct as things were still adjusting in that environment. So there's just a lot of dynamics that are very different, but it's been pretty awesome. It's as stressful and as this is, with everyone working remote, it has been great to kind of see how the teams come together. So all those people, I know the live service team is watching, and I really want to say thank you guys for all the hard work you guys have been doing, as well as the gameplay teams, the franchise teams, all the teams that are working remote. I know it's tough, but we're going to continue pressing forward. And the number one thing that we want to do from our community side is make sure that we're giving you guys the information as quickly as we can get it and kind of keep you guys up to date. So that being said, people are probably tired of hearing us talk already.
Yes,
but guess what? They're going to hear another hour and a half or maybe an hour of us talking. There will be Gridiron notes coming. Stay tuned for that later on. We'll talk about later on the stream. But we are going to go ahead and start walking through some things. So Jake, you were talking about kind of creative. You've been heavily involved on the creative side, doing some things. And I know something that you're very, very passionate about is this thing they call card art, or, player item art that we talk about. And it's something that I know you've been working on for a very, very long time. And I wanted to take an opportunity, because you've seen some comments out there from the community, wanted to kind of paint a picture of what's been being done, because we showed stuff for Madden 20 earlier on in Rookie Premiere, right? But that's just that's really, really early on. We've put together kind of just a new item layout, which I'm going to go ahead and start pulling up right here. And just for those people that are watching this on the stream, Jake and I are going to be referencing probably multiple monitors, because we have a full run of show. And when I say run a show, it's like all the information I'm showing you here, Jake has that, so we can kind of follow and talk through that as we're not completely sharing our screens while we're doing the stream. So what I have right here, Jake, that I kind of want to talk about is the first image that we're going to see is the Ultimate Team. It's called like the Player Item Guide. Walk us through that real quick here. I'm going to leave this up here while you talk to that.
Yeah, I mean, let's even maybe start a half step back from that, and
sure.
Like, this was like why did we choose to go after this year? It's been a good like probably 4 years since we've really touched what the front of the frame looks like. And one of the things that we really wanted to dig into, and a lot of big credit goes to the art team, our UX folks, was just taking what we had and kind of deconstructing it, and kind of like noticing all of its flaws that's has been there over the years. And with every year it seemed like we were adding yet another thing to the front of the frame. Last year's example being like the archetype icon. And I kind of joked that, hey, I worked on this game and saw those pretty much every day, and if you were to give me a pop quiz on it, I would fail it miserably. So more and more things just kind of started to get on there. And so it was our opportunity to go in there and kind of break it down and see, where were some of the misconceptions. We did, UX testing. We also, did our own sort of like self-analysis on it. And, we kind of came away thinking like, again, one, there's way too much that's like on top of the frame itself.
For sure.
As well as, in some cases too much iconography, and in other cases, not enough. The main one that I'd pointed to, and the one that I wish that, it was a little bit better last year, was the amount of passive or superstar abilities that a player had. Like last year, with the way that the layout was, you could just put the number of abilities that you had on there versus like the specific abilities that were equipped on there. And so that kind of, again, drove what the initial conception was for, you'll probably hear me refer to as like the 50-50 version of it, where it's, half of it's art and half of it's informational. And so what ended up happening is that was the thing that we knew that we were going to go ahead and build first, knowing that we still wanted to have another view of it, of like, we know, like, obviously the art team puts out amazing content. We want to be able to pay that off. We knew that players were also going to want to continue seeing that get paid off. I mean, we just invested in a feature last year where we let you choose what art actually shows on the front of the frame. So, but then life started to happen, right? Like, so we go and we build the 50-50 and we get that in, and then COVID hits. And now we're all, in scramble mode. We're working from home. Not to get into like what does a gaming development cycle look like, but at some point you are feature complete and you hit alpha, and like that is what you have, right? And so at that point, 50-50 is what we had. And I kind of talked about some of these extraordinary efforts from the team. This is one of those, and while the hashtag that was trending out there was not the reason of why like we had to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. Like, the good news was we already had the design, we already knew what we wanted to do. But what that hashtag and what that kind of sentiment from the community did was make sure that if there's any way, shape, or form that we can have this
most definitely
when we launch the game, we need to do it. And
it'll most likely be running back
a month ago, give or take a week. We were able to get this in, and so when we kind of talk about it at a high level, and there's some exceptions to this rule, but at a high level, if you are highlighted on a particular player or item, that is when you're going to be in that 50-50 view, with the thinking being that's when you're typically going to want the most information about that specific player. And then anything that is off of highlight is going to be I might call it this 80-20 view again, where it's kind of more 80% of it is the art. And so we feel like it's the best of both worlds, where again, you can get that information and kind of take it in
Patrick
easily,
Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, who we going
while
with? The
also still
speed
making
or
sure
all
that
the
there's
throwing
a way in there that we're
attributes?
paying off again all that great art that the team is pumping out.
Cool. And what I did, Jake, while you were talking, I was showing players kind of like that player item guide where they see the 50-50. And then I also showed them the Lamar Jackson image that we got, yesterday that shows the 80-20. And I think at the end of the day, I mean, if we're all honest, UI, the expression of kind of card art that's out there, it's really important to players. But at the end of the day, last year was extremely confusing. I know I brought that up several times where it's like you have all these iconography everywhere and it's not very clear. And I know Nando, he is very focused on UX. And I think a lot of times when we think of UX, user experience, UX, you got to make sure it functions well. People can understand that kind of stuff, and that transitions into the UI at the end of the day. You can build a beautiful UI, but if it doesn't function well and you really can't understand different components of it, it gets really messy. Now, I'm not a UI or a UX expert. I've worked with a few, but at the end of the day, you really want to be able to make sure that the person that's looking at something, they can kind of understand what's there. And let's just be honest. I'm going to go ahead and show this other image that you gave me, which was the M20, M20 unfocused and the M21 focused. And just talk about that, because when you actually look at what we had in Madden 20 and where everything was kind of jumbled together, it was very confusing. And what you guys are taking, the approach that's been taken is very different. I'll go ahead and change between this and also kind of like the player item guide that we had earlier. So if you want to talk a little bit about this, I'll go ahead and switch between both of these.
Yeah, no, I mean, you go in there, and one of the things that I didn't mention that, the art team was, quick to point out when we were like, hey, we have this opportunity to go back and try to make this, look a little better, was that kind of like dark scrim that you see kind of just around, the outer portions of the frame, while sure you can see, in there, and it's technically, if you have a piece of art, it is there in the frame. It is not like this, completely,
Do you want a new NCAA football game? Yes, but
view
we're
of it.
probably
and so
not
like that was
getting
another
one.
thing when we were able to go in here and really take a look at it. That
I would
was,
love one. That's why they keep putting
the
college
things that we may
in
have
Madden,
needed that black
and they
screen
even
4
got
or
high
5
school
years
in
ago
Madden
no
this
longer
year.
exists. We can go ahead and take that out.
Bro,
and then,
who
yeah,
cares
like you
about
mentioned,
card
a lot
art?
of iconography on here, a lot of things that maybe aren't going to show up as, player facing features, but like, for the most part, when you see things like an LTD stamp or a power up stamp, or, that those are things that either is being done on the art or is kind of a messy process for the content creators themselves to make sure properly gets put on the art, versus now when you see the power up and then that stamp, it's actually much easier for our content creators. They're just, kind of going to one specific column and saying this particular item is power up eligible, and then cool, programmatically that now gets sent down to the frame, which is, again, one of those things that might not show up to when that certainly went into play when conceptualizing this.
Got it. Yeah, and you can see right here, I'm going to show kind of like the community, the 80-20 or 78%. You see this right there with Lamar Jackson, and then we kind of go back to the player item guide. I think it shows a lot of that stuff that you were talking about, where we see the position, we see the archetype, we also understand the X factor and the passive abilities and the players, the chemistries, the chemistry
UFC,
multipliers, the stamps and all that kind of information. So it's definitely from a UX perspective and information perspective properly displayed. We're even going to talk a little bit more about even like the back of the player item, right? That's even changed, but we'll get into that in a minute. So those are those images right there that I showed. The next image I have, Jake, is actually inside the item binder where I'm highlighted on Aaron Donald. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I think it's probably to showcase what we were talking about earlier, but feel free to talk through these two images I think that I have here.
Yeah, it's that whole highlight versus non-highlight concept. The item binder, one of those places where you're going to find it. So again, you can see on here, you're on Aaron Donald. You're in that 50-50. Everybody else in here is in that 80-20. And as you can see, as you scroll over to the Bobby Wagner, he also now kind of transitions to that. Aaron
Bro, he
Donald
about to
goes
send
to
me a
that
sleep too.
80-20. So you'll find that here in the item binder. You'll find
So
that in the
training is
lineup.
still a
You'll find that
thing.
in pack opening.
Madden points,
So,
coins,
a lot of places where
mud
you're going to kind of
level,
see this. And again,
and the season trophies.
again, hopefully it feels like
again, is
a
here.
nice balanced blend. I know there's a lot of feedback, a lot of really passionate folks out there about this. The one thing that I would
Can
just
y'all
ask
hear me when I
is,
talk? Or
we'll continue monitoring. You always do a great job of making sure that we understand what that feedback and sentiment is, and that can kind of inform future decisions.
Yeah, I know, like when I got my hands on the build and had an opportunity to kind of play it a lot more, at first I was a little bit shook. I was like, there's no back of the player item. And I got a little frustrated because I'm like, I can't capture things right now. It's becoming very difficult for me. And then as I started kind of going through kind of the new design,
about what
it made a lot of sense to me as just somebody who's just very detail oriented, and just likes the flow and likes information in a certain way that's categorical. Made a lot more sense for me. So there's also the lineup screen that I do want to highlight real quick here. I do have one part that you guys can't see, but we'll talk about that later on in the stream. But you'll see right here, I do have Aaron Donald highlighted as well. And this kind of layout has it's there so people can see what's going on in that space. Now, speaking of all that, let's talk about the back of the player item, Jake. This was the part that kind of got me a little frustrated because I was trying to capture things the old way, and then we realized, and huge shout out to Paige, who's been working with our art team to figure out exactly the best way to get the information out there. We're going to talk about kind of how the assets that you guys see on @EA_Mut will display information. But right here, I have the Aaron Donald screen. Let's say I go ahead and open up a pack. And then when I open up the pack and I go ahead and click on that item, I'm going to get all these options: compare, promote. So talk about this. It just seems a lot. And we have 3 tabs. Let's walk through all this.
Bro, we already know this stuff.
Yeah. So compare, I mean, what's funny about this was, again, when we
know what this is,
made the choice to go after, updating what the front of the frame looks like, it also was kind of made the right timing for us to go back to a design that we had, basically 2 years ago when we brought upgrades into Ultimate Team. This was the initial design kind of all along. And at the time we were only able to get the upgrades portion of it. So this whole back of item, feature is something that has actually been kind of designed out and planned for a little while now. And we were able to kind of go after and attack it this year. So yeah, when you're taking a look at that, I feel like I kind of most relate it to almost like a franchise full screen player profile look. And we've taken what used to be 6 tabs on the back of the item. It's now consolidated down to 3. Because again, now that you're utilizing that entire screen, you're able to get more of that information on there all at once.
Got it.
So here you can see you've got all your particular actions that you would normally have, anything that the player might be eligible for, whether that's auctioning, trading, quick selling, all that good stuff, as well as the spelled out version of exactly what you got going on here. And then if you tab over, you're now into the attributes screen, and that's again another place where you're getting all that information right at once, including those key attributes. Everything that kind of makes sense to kind of highlight what's the top line.
But I don't need you to show
information
me
that you're going to want about a particular player. You can find it here. Then you can scroll down to get even more of that additional information. Very small thing, but a thing that I always think is funny to point out. Weight is now a thing that you can find while inside of Madden Ultimate Team. Again, super small, but let's throw out all the info that we can. And then you're just on it over in the upgrades. That one is mostly unchanged. The main one that I would call out here on the upgrades tab is sort of like this timeline view. There you're now able to get a little bit more information, especially with power-ups. Something like a core elite doesn't have necessarily the deepest upgrade path, but when you start to get into a power-up, as you were to start scrolling over to the right, that total cost that you see, and right there you see it's just a 5. Oh, okay, you have it a little bit here. That's a little bit more of what the view looks like. But if you were still highlighted up there, it would actually tell you how much training you need in total to get there. Now, I know the next question is going to be, does that mean it's just a one button click? No, it's still unfortunately not a one button click, but you are able to get kind of more information in terms of, I need this much training. I need to make sure that I have this many items before I go and actually start that upgrade path.
Cool. When we're looking at those images, is there anything else, Jake, that you want to talk about regarding the new item layout? Because one thing that I'm noticing on here is we got this AP thing on there. And I do want to talk about that as well. I know something you're very passionate about. I know you're laughing. It's more of an inside joke. There's somebody out there. It's not Gibbs, guys. Not Gibbs. Not Gibbs is always giving Jake a lot of hassle on just certain things. But we love Not Gibbs, even though he's not
Franchise
here.
mode.
Yeah. Do anything else you want to talk about new item layouts before we jump into kind of the ability points, ability caps?
Let's make the transition.
All right, good stuff. All right, let's go and talk about ability points. You guys may have seen in the screen. Talk to me a little bit. I'm going to go back and I'm going to show the image of, Aaron Donald, and people will see. If you guys look at the bottom right-hand part of the item where it says sack the QB, you see kind of like 0 and you see 0 AP. We're going to be talking a little bit about what does that 0 AP mean? How does it kind of play a factor? So Jake, walk us through ability caps. I'm going to put it on screen for you and I to talk about, and then I'll kind of go ahead and cycle through some of the images that I have leading out with kind of like the tiers for ability slots and whatnot.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I mean, this is our big gameplay story this year. Clinton and the crew have done another amazing job delivering another just awesome story this year. And for us and Ultimate Team, we want to make sure that we can continue paying that off. And the thing that we kind of started to think about this year was, quick refresher on Madden 20. Hey, I'm going to get 3 players on offense, 3 players on defense. Everything that those players have, I'm activating them. Those are my 6 guys that I'm kind of bringing in and activating. Shout out to Brad. He's the one who kind of had this initial thought, and we kind of, ran with it from there. I think I know what if instead it was how many, like a point system, like how many abilities can you bring to the field versus how many players? And with that, it kind of brings this, kind of really additional team building strategy to it. You could choose to go still really deep with just 1 or 3 players if you wanted to, or you could choose to have 5, 6 guys, and they all have one particular ability with them, but you're able to kind of spread it out a little bit more. And the story I always tend to tell when talking about this feature was, I'd say right around Christmas time last year, home playing Ultimate Team, all the fire content's coming in, and I go and I want to say it was a Gronk. I go and I grab Gronk and I put him on the team. This is pre-Buck Gronk, by the way. Sorry, I had to. Was like, I'm really excited, but I just can't not like activate him. Like I just can't break up the rest of the lineup, even though I'm super pumped about having Gronk on the team. And so it was just this feeling of not like fully paying off what it meant to go out and acquire that Gronk. And so super pumped that we were able to, again, kind of think more along the lines of, again, how many points do you have? And then, from there, when Brad and I were talking, I can still remember this, even though I haven't been to the studio in what feels like 5 years, I can still remember this conversation like it was yesterday. I go over, start talking with RG and a few other folks over there, and we start just riffing on this. And, kind of quickly, it's like, well, hey, Stein, like not every ability is, kind of created equally. Like there's obviously some that are more impactful than others. And it was like, well, cool. Well, what if we like just put a point value on those and we could kind of tune it that way? So like, if it was Madden 20, your enforcers and escape artists and pass rush elites and all that were the ones that we kind of picked out as ones that needed to kind of cost more. And that's what that AP means. That AP is, kind of standing for ability point.
Show us.
Just again, huge shout out to so many folks. I almost feel bad for starting to name people because I'm totally going to the people off.
Right,
but like Scantleberry, Nick Farah, these guys are just played an instrumental role in making sure that we were able to kind of tune this appropriately as best as we could for launch. But as we kind of outline in the Gridiron notes as well, this is something that we kind of are positioning as a sort of balancing mechanic for us. Sure. So while an AP might come out and be a certain value, if that's something that we start to see and we have data to help kind of support that this thing is just not priced, if you will, or designed at the right value, we can go in and make those particular adjustments. And that's just going to be part of, what it means to, interact with this feature. It's, to me, it's awesome, right? And the other one that's really easy to go into is last year's Eric Dickerson's, X Factor. This is a case where with that X Factor, we ended up making a balancing adjustment by changing the knockout conditions for Dickerson. In this particular system, we probably just would have increased it to like an 8 or a 9 or maybe even like a 10. And it's like, if you still want it, you still want to have it on, cool, you can do that, but you're probably sacrificing quite a bit in order just to have that X Factor on. So to me, I'm really excited about, again, the team building aspect to it, as well as some of the, the capabilities that we're going to have to make sure that we are staying in touch with the meta and kind of can make those balancing adjustments.
Cool. No, I apologize. The whole time you're talking, when you start name dropping people, I'm thinking about RG, and I want to pull like a shofar out and go, RG, I see you out there, man. And he's watching the stream. I'm giving him a shout out because just RG, we need to see you, man. We miss you. Hopefully we will hear from you here soon. He's been working hard, and just love that guy. So when you said that, I was like, man, I wish I had like a shofar. I could do something crazy like that, but I can't. All that, just moving aside. But do you want to talk about those ability, like the tier ability slots, and then we start showing some images about AP and kind of how it works? Or is there any more details you want to share about this?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that in just a second. I think one thing that I haven't mentioned just yet is, these are going to be broken up by archetype as well. And so kind of like another way to kind of pay off, what an why it makes sense to, go after a particular archetype player versus another. So for instance, an easy example might be a field general is going to have access to conductor, and he might actually have like less requirements in order to access conductor, just like last year, but also his AP on conductor might be less than a scrambler quarterback, who is probably going to take longer to even be able to equip conductor. But once they do, it would also kind of count more towards that AP total.
Cool. No, that's good. It's good.
And then the last thing that you mentioned, again, because we have built this system, one of the things that we feel more comfortable doing is allowing more abilities to be put on any particular player, because again, it's being balanced in a different way. And so we still have the 80, 85, 90, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 that we had from last year. But as you can see here, at 98 and 99 overall, that will be when you get that, fourth and fifth slot, if you will. So again, as the year goes on, you're going to have the opportunity to put more and better abilities on there. But again, you still will be beholden to the cap total. Now, when it comes to the cap total itself, right now, if you were to fire it up, that number is set to 10. We might have points in the year where we raise that up as we go on. So while it is set to 10 for now, as the year progresses, look out for that cap total to potentially update as well.
Cool. I have some images here of Bobby Swags. We're going to go through. You'll see here in Reach Elite, for example. I'm just gonna cycle through some images for you guys so that you can see. Jake has them just to kind of give a little bit of the context. You'll see like 1 AP, you'll see 2 AP, as Jake was saying. As we look at, for example, goal line stuff, you have 3 AP. And then like Avalanche. What's interesting though, Jake, over here is like with Avalanche,
I love this so much. I love it.
Notice that it says 0 AP.
You can build your team how you want it to be.
And I have that screen up here right now. I know that's an important factor.
You only want one person to have one ability.
One of the things that as we were starting to get the system in and start play testing it,
you all want them to have one ability.
It became quick that
one ability.
Who's going to actually spend some of their cap total on X factors? These, like, a thing that I actually have to still do something in the game to even activate versus these passive abilities that I'm going to get on every down. And so the thing that we wanted to do was, because you can still only activate 3 X factors on each side of the ball, that was sort of a system that was going to make sure that just didn't blow up. So we wanted to go ahead and make all the default X factors cost you nothing. So you can still only activate 3 of them, but you're going to be able to choose, who those players are that you want, and still again kind of preserve what that rest of that 10 at launch AP was going to be able to get you at that point. So it felt like a thing that X Factors might quickly just get completely more or less like designed out of the game. That's not something that we wanted, and
sure.
this was the solution.
Well, and I have a screenshot right here where you'll see like the active superstars. You're picking them on on each side of the ball. But there's also, if you look at this screen, if you look at Bobby Wagner, he has like a number 2. He has some stuff at the very underneath it. When I first looked at this, I wasn't quite sure what that meant, but like the more that I played around with it, I can see that that's actually like that item has 2 AP points, right? And then underneath it, that looks like that's his superstar X Factor. Is that correct?
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah. And
5.
so, what this really turns into,
so they say
I
it's
think
10 points. Can you use 10
I'm always
AP
looking
points
for,
on defense?
and the team is always looking for.
Because I would definitely do that.
Are there?
Well, no, I would use 9 and
more
then have my
I kind
quarterback
of call them like
be
capturable
activated.
screens, like screens that just are like really impactful, that you're really excited to like capture it and share it out with your friends and share it on social media. For Ultimate Team, right? Like the lineup screen is one of those premium places, and I can just see one of our community leaders putting out, hey, here's my lineup, and without this information, the very next question that everybody would have for them would be like, who do you have activated? What are they doing?
Sure.
All that good stuff. So this kind of gets you in a little better spot of like, well, here's who's actually there. Here's how much that they're counting towards. And yeah, if they have an X Factor, we're going to show you the X Factor sign. If they don't, we default to the superstar ability logo that you can also see over there. So yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like it's a nice kind of informational screen that you can get, a nice, just clean look at it.
Cool. And I have a screenshot right now, like the manage the superstars on defense, to kind of give people some context of kind of like this new look. So right now I'm actually looking at my active superstars. I get to see their AP. I get to see how many X Factor limits I have, 2 of 3. My AP limit's 5 of 10, so I kind of have some AP space to play around with and other stuff. Do you want to talk anything about, is there anything you want to share about this screen before we kind of move on to some other stuff?
Yeah, maybe just another note or two here. So yeah, when you come into this screen, it's going to populate everybody who's in that active lineup that would be eligible to come in here. So basically, anybody who has an ability or an X Factor already equipped on the player will show up in here. Another thing that really pops out is the deactivate option that you can see over on Fearmonger. So again, because you're only able to choose 3, it's like, well, how do we let you choose which ones that you want? When you are choosing to activate a player, the default is you're going to get everything that they have. You're going to get all their passives as well as their X Factor. You could also choose to only take their passives. But when you also find yourself in the screen and you're like, I just want to do some quick management to deactivate this X Factor and put it on somebody else, there's a nice, easy, just kind of one button to turn the X Factor off. Now, while that's super convenient, the thing that is worth kind of diving into a little bit more is when it comes to the superstar abilities themselves. If you find yourself saying like, I really want, Aaron Donald, but he's too much a cap or too much AP for where I'm at. You are going to have to go to the Aaron Donald, remove whatever particular superstar ability is there. That's going to, kind of get you back to the number that you're looking for. So those type of edits do have to be made on the player versus where the X Factor can be turned on and off here at that managed superstar ability screen.
Good stuff. Thanks for all the context there. I think it's just helpful to kind of understand, with these new features, you guys are like, I started to understand is like how the UX, the user experience tells that story. So it's really good, Jake, to kind of expand
Sorry, I had
on
to
that.
time you
I
out.
really
It was
do
getting a
appreciate
little
it.
weird.
I know there's a lot of questions, right? And sometimes I know that for some
Thank you for
people,
becoming
even for
a member,
myself,
Mr.
it's like
Davenport.
I still don't. I may not like something, but just having the context helps me kind of digest it a little bit easier. And just to understand maybe the design ethos behind it, not ethos.
Just don't
I'm
be
saying it wrong. Just the
Don't
design
get
logic.
weird on me again.
Behind all that, it's helpful. So thank you for taking the time and just agreeing to kind of talk through all that. I know the community really does appreciate it. Anything else you want to talk about Ability Cast before we move on to MUT programs?
No, let's move on.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about MUT programs,
Here we
guys.
go.
So first up, let's go ahead and talk about Rivals. So Rivals
see me, chat?
is
You
pretty
see me?
similar when I kind of started tinkering around with this, similar
see
to
me?
kind of like Welcome to Madden Ultimate
Yeah.
Team,
I'll
that
teach y'all one
onboarding
day.
experience that we had last year. You want to talk a little bit about Rivals, that program, or anything different?
Rivals.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple things that
looking
stand
to a
out. You know,
Daryus
I'm sure for a
legend
lot of
status.
people who are nice enough to join us on stream tonight, probably not the thing that's going to give you the most challenging experience in Ultimate Team. This is totally the thing that you're jumping into first once you get into Madden Ultimate Team. So I think these are all set to arcade play style. You're going through, you're kind of getting those early rewards, those early progressions. The main thing that, you know, again, a lot of people who are probably joining us tonight would be interested in is playing through this and earning, you know, all those particular milestones along the way. You get to choose from one of three players. I believe we have Ben Roethlisberger, Zach Ertz, with Rivals. Is we have
Definitely
plans
going
to
with
kind
Ben.
of continue this on as the year goes on. So look for that as, again, we continue getting deeper into the Madden season. Rivals is probably something that you're going to see kind of a continuation to.
Cool. And right now I'm just cycling through the images, giving people an opportunity. You know, I know there's folks out there that are probably trying to capture these
So,
images,
guys,
you know,
I'm
for
gonna let y'all know.
videos or things that they're doing. I know we haven't tweeted these out from @EA Sports_MUT. So just
I'm
going to
doing
kind
a
of,
no
you know,
money
for the
spent
time
team
being,
this
cycle
year.
through these. You guys can see those.
I'm gonna
But
challenge myself.
next
No
up,
money
I think what we're going to
spent
talk about is the team captain program. So let's go ahead and talk about team captains, Jake. So first up, we got some new
Eddie
players. Let's
George.
go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, we do. You pretty early on in the experience, you're going to be able to get into your MUT captains, and we're actually going to have, you know, a relatively short experience here where you're going to get each one of those team captains overridden onto your team and kind of try them out before you have to make the choice of who you want. So as you can see here on screen, we've got the great Eddie George back in the house, as well as
Davenport with a
Leroy Glover, Ed
$2.99
McCaffrey, and Aeneas
donation.
Williams.
Appreciate it, homie.
So again, you're kind of go through, play with this experience, have a, you know, relatively short challenge where they're on your team, get a sense of, you know, how impactful you might feel like they are. From there, you'll go ahead and make your choice of which of the captains that you want. Now, a couple things to note here. This is not like this, like, oh my gosh, if I make the wrong choice here, I'm done forever. No, we do have an exchange set for you that's available right away, and you can do as many times as you want. So if you kind of quickly have remorse over who you got, or again, like a very real world thing might be, hey, I picked Eddie George, but then I just got Travis.
You pull
why
like
am I
Christian
Derrick
McCaffrey
Henry
out of you or something like that. Yeah.
If I go and pull Derrick, okay, cool. I'm
Ed
set at running back
McCaffrey.
now. I'm gonna go turn
That
in
is
Eddie
Christian
George, and I'm gonna
McCaffrey's
go pick
dad,
up Ed
just in case y'all
McCaffrey
didn't
or Leroy
know.
Glover. So you can kind of, you know, stay flexible in that regard. The other thing to note here with the captains themselves are there's actually, when you open up any one of these packs,
Someone's gonna have, people are gonna have fun with this. Just saying. There's 30. The audio on it is pretty crazy when you open it. Just I'll leave it. I'm not gonna say anything else.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, what this does is it allows you to, you know, choose, you know, what team that you want to go after. And again, there are some design reasons. I'm actually going to let the players themselves kind of sort of feel it out and kind of see how the flow goes for when it comes to team captains. But versus like, you know, something that we've done in the past where it's like, well, why don't I just have them and there's 32 team choices? Like there's some other design choices that are being made here that'll make sense once you get into it.
Okay. And I'm just cycling through some of the images that we captured. Like right now, I'm actually on Aeneas Williams' home screen.
Eddie George.
Went ahead and showed kind of like the 32 when I picked the Seahawks as a Seahawks fan. Jake, I really do apologize. I know we were doing the stream together, and I chose not to bring any Bucks into the picture. So I do apologize. I've done you a massive disservice. But I'm just cycling through these, and then I have the screenshots of their ratings. So I'm going to put those up on stream right now.
If you got
for
PC,
people to see. So this is kind of like their ratings when you go ahead and get your team captain, and that you go ahead and choose that.
Is it called EA
so
Play
I'm going to
Plus?
go ahead and
What is it
cycle
called?
through these, give it a little bit of a moment for people to kind of digest that information.
EA
and again,
Play Pro.
This is a lot of all the things that you're seeing here are the key ratings. And Jake, one thing that we didn't talk about, the key ratings, when you see that on the
playing
back
on
of
PS4
or
or
kind of in that
Xbox
view.
One,
Why do we focus on
and
key
you
ratings?
have
Like, is there anything specific or
just
unique
EA
about
Play,
those key
EA
ratings that
Access. They
people
just
should be
changed the
aware of?
name of it, right?
Well, I'm excited to have a much.
Then you can play the MVP edition or the Ultimate edition. Pretty sure you can play on the 25th. That's full game on the 25th. And then it comes out worldwide for everybody on the 28th. Hope that wasn't too confusing.
Was always the same cookie cutter ratings that were there, and you always wondered, does this apply for that player, or does this apply for, of course there were questions, does this really impact the archetype and other stuff? So sounds like you guys are still doing some work in that space, but
No
thanks for
problem,
answering
We're
TJ.
that
always
question.
grinding. We're always grinding.
I appreciate it, man. All right, let's go ahead and talk about NFL Epics up next. So we have NFL Epics. What is the NFL Epics program? We had it last year. Right? So
Larry!
We did. We had 2 players at the start of last year.
Adrian Peterson,
This year we've upped
Ronnie
it to
Lott.
4. And so with each one of these players, there's a 25-game Ultimate Challenge experience, kind of calling out and highlighting 25 of the best moments from their career. And you can see on here, you get a nice view up for the audience. So we got Larry Fitzgerald, an AP, as well as Ronnie Lott and Jack Youngblood. So especially, all 4 of those guys, certainly not exactly hard to go find these epic moments that they've brought to the table. But with Ronnie Lott and Jack Youngblood,
25 games apiece to
excited
get these
about
players.
that. And as you can see here, you're kind of in the mission view here.
I'm going no money spent.
With each one of these, you're going to have the opportunity to play through those 25 challenges.
To keep up with everybody else.
From there, you're going to unlock one additional challenge. Go ahead and complete that, beat that.
But the thing
and that's
is,
how you're going to earn the 85
I don't know if I
overall
want to
version
grind
for each one of these.
Well, I do know
players.
where
And
I
so
want to grind.
they're
Like,
all
I
available.
Play Ultimate Team
There's
and the
not
yard,
any sort of
but which one should I
gating
grind
mechanism
the
or anything
most?
like that. You're
Like
able to
the
kind of get
yard,
into
so I can
all
get.
these guys.
I'm
and
trying
so, yeah,
to be, dripped
little
out on the yard,
104
right?
game challenge sequence. You got yourself 485s.
Good stuff. And I'm just
trying to
showing
be
right
dripped out
now
on
just
the
some of the
yard, right?
ratings that we
But
have here.
then
Again,
I
huge shout
wanna
out
do
to Paige. Huge shout out to Josh for all your help.
I want to do
and kind of helping me get stuff set up on the build to season.
and Ultimate
All
Team,
right,
and then
up
go
next,
on
Jake.
and
I'm going
win
to take a
Super
little
Bowls.
breather. You need a water break, bio break. You good?
I've been stealing some while you have these screens up. We're
Good stuff.
still okay right now.
I'm over here sipping just live on stream, and it is water, just for those people asking.
Sure.
Okay, Mutt Master. Let's go and talk about Mutt Master.
Let's get it.
Actually, I'm putting up the screen Mutt Master, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and
appreciate it,
talk
Davenport.
about. I messed it up earlier. It was like design ethos. What's the philosophy with Mutt Master? Last year we had Pat Tillman. And you and I have been talking, offline a little bit about kind of where you guys want to go with the Mutt Master and how you guys pick those players. And this Mutt Master is I didn't know the person at first, and people are like, oh my gosh, you're not really a true football fan. And it's like, okay, I get it. But at the same time, I think there's just like stories behind these things that you guys are doing that is really cool. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not to say like this is how Mutt Master is going to be from now until whenever, but certainly, kind of proud to kind of take it in this new direction. You kind of go back 4+ years ago. It was typically the same player as who was on the cover for that year, and then the following year was Ryan Shazier after his story and his kind of again battle and grind back to getting part of himself back. It was truly inspirational. And then you mentioned Pat Tillman last year, and I think a lot of us are familiar with Pat Tillman. So this year it was like, okay, well, if we wanted to continue going in that direction, who might be some players that would be on that list. I tweeted the other day that Alex Smith was somebody that was certainly kind of like met the criteria. That sounds terrible, but like it's sort of like somebody that would kind of have those same feels. I mean, just seeing what he's gone through and the odds that he's overcoming are amazing, right? But we went in another direction, and we are going with both New Orleans Saints and Carolina Panther linebacker Sam Mills. Sam Mills is probably best known for his, his sort of legacy is this keep pounding, which is, this speech that he provided. He transitioned from his playing career into a coaching career with the Panthers, and during their Super Bowl run in the playoffs, he kind of had this very inspirational speech. And why was it inspirational? Well, that year started off with him getting diagnosed with intestinal cancer in August of that year. And he chose to fight it. He chose to not only fight it, but continue coaching. And that was the year where the Panthers kind of made it all the way and played the Patriots in the Super Bowl that year. And so that kind of keep pounding legacy continues to live on for Carolina and that franchise. Keep pounding, I think, is their official hashtag. It is certainly the thing that they do to start every game now. They have a keep pounding kind of drum routine. So really kind of cool and special, and just somebody that, again, kind of just transcends, again, this was no slouch either. I mean, he played again for 12 years, a handful of Pro Bowls. I believe he helped the Panthers win their first game in franchise history with a defensive touchdown. Like just a sensational player, and kind of with everything else, this one felt right. And so I'm excited to kind of announce that one tonight. Hope everybody else is equally excited about this.
That's awesome, man.
I wasn't at first,
just
but now
let people know, the way to go ahead and get your Sam Mills Mutt Master item is you're going to go into like the Mutt Master progression.
All the support, homie.
You
have a great night.
Kind of ultimate challenges and missions. You're going to go through all that.
No, it's
Jake,
nighttime.
I know you're going to talk a little bit about that because you guys did things maybe a little bit different this year. So you're going to get a touchdown. It's a really quick ultimate challenge. You're going to go ahead and then get your Sam Mills player item, which you guys saw earlier. But then there's going to be, I think we talked about this, Shake. There is going to be there's going to be like a main list, and then there's going to be a list that's tied to the series updates, right? And how you can go ahead and earn tokens to go ahead and upgrade your Mutt Master. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the main list is something that is going to look and feel a lot like, not certainly not exactly, but a lot like what you've seen with Mutt Master objectives list over the past couple of years. There are definitely some differences. There's actually, I think, maybe a few less this year. That main list will give you enough upgrade tokens to get him to a 93 overall.
Okay. And I have an image of that.
Overall, he's been a 95. So you mentioned the series list. With every series, there's going to be a Mutt Master list that sits alongside it as well. And it has 4 different objectives on it. If you do half of them, you get an additional +1 collectible for Sam Mills. If you do all 4 of those in the time of the series that it's open, there's a pretty strong coin reward for doing that. And so again, this is a mix of, right now you see it here on screen. There's some team-based stats as well as some stats that you need to do specifically with the Sam Mills Mutt Master. Again, kind of doing them all in that time frame is going to net you a pretty strong coin reward. You can still get a coin reward and the +1 OVR after the fact. It just won't be as strong as if it was being done during that given series that it came out in. So he will go to a 94. And then with each series, rather than, again, Kralo, you come in saying, hey, people are pounding on the door, when are we upgrading Mutt Master? We're just going to go and commit to it right now. With every series, he's going to get a +1 OVR until he reaches that 99.
Cool. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to change. I'm telling the live service team right now, change your Slack to the knock, because that's what I'm going to be doing virtually while we're working from home. Dad joke, bad one. Leave it at that. Showing Sam Mills 93 overall right here. So Jake, when you complete the list, these are some of the key attributes or key ratings you're going to see on Sam Mills. We also got a screenshot. Again, huge shout out to Paige for helping out with this. When you get into a 94 overall, and also huge shout out to the art team. I did take a screenshot of the upgrades because I wanted to just see the art. I just wanted to see the art right here.
Kind of direction is an 80.
As you kind of build it out, you get to see kind of unique art treatment. You're going to unlock some front art treatments with Sam Mills as you upgrade him, and you'll see some stuff there. Anything else you want to talk about regarding Mutt Master, Jake, before we jump into Level Master?
Well, something that both the Level Master and Mutt Master are going to share is a team chemistry bucket that will let you choose from all 32 teams. So that's probably a good thing to just kind of get out there. It's not just the Panthers and the Saints that are going to, so quote unquote benefit from Sam Mills.
It's great.
We did go ahead and make that change, and those players will have access to all 32 team chems.
That's awesome. I think when I was testing the build and kind of capturing, I didn't see. I probably might have captured at a certain time. There's like every day, there's just like a ton of updates. I didn't see that for Mutt Master, which is great news. I do have a capture here for Level Master, which I'll lead into that. So for Level Master, we have Andre Johnson as going to be our guy.
Andre
I'm
Johnson.
Just go through some screens real quick here, but I'm going to get to that screen that shows all the chemistries for the player. Do you want to talk about Level Master and anything that's unique and different this year, Jake?
Similar story as last year. As you're upgrading your Mutt level, you're going to get tokens to upgrade him. I believe there are this year also some additional challenges as well, which you would be able to find other Level Master collectibles as well. The other kind of interesting thing that we're tinkering around with Level Master is he's going to have a few unique X factors for him. When I say unique, they're not different X factors that you find in the rest of the game. They are still some of the same ones. They're just going to have different, what we kind of call trigger and knockout conditions. And so, he might have things where it's easier to activate it, but it's going to come out maybe 1 or 2 plays later. So some other things in there. And again, that's another one where if we start to see feedback, or if that's a thing that becomes kind of a meta, we'll pull it back to the ability cap story, right? That's one where we might go in there and say, hey, this one might actually need to be like 1 point of AP versus the 0 that it's currently at. Because again, we kind of feel right now it's balanced with, it's easier to get into, but it's not going to last as long. So we'll be looking for feedback on there. But it's just a couple things to kind of hopefully make Level Master feel even more unique and special this year.
That's awesome. And I have his ratings right here. So I think when you go ahead and work through, all the levels, we'll talk briefly on the levels. I'm actually not going to spoil it this stream, going through every single level. I'll leave that for the community, the content creators to do. You guys do it way better than I do. So definitely going to leave that there from that perspective. But here are his ratings. And like you said, Jake, one of the things I did observe when kind of doing this was that in the past, when you unlocked like those level challenges, it was like, I'm just going to go there and just do them and get some coins. There are actually unique, tokens that you can get from those level challenges. So I don't know if I have a screen of that, but we'll go ahead and talk about that. Let's go ahead and talk about Team Affinity. So Team Affinity is more kind of like that theme builders, kind of Team Diamonds. Okay. There's a story there that we want to talk a little bit about. So let's talk about Team Affinity. Jake, team builders. What can we expect when we're talking about team builders this year?
Yeah, I mean, when Team Affinity as a whole and why it's branded kind of that way is, again, we continue to see that people really enjoy building those teams, right? Like, it's no surprise that Kralo has literally pulled a Seahawk for every one of these screenshots, or if he can put Seahawks on there, or even if he asked Paige to just put something, like just put a fake Seahawks logo on top of this guy, even though it doesn't matter. Like, I get it, right? We all love our teams. You can see my Zoom background. Like, we love our teams, right?
Do you read the chat? Sometimes
being able to have, some of that when it comes to, just building the best Madden Ultimate team. I'm gonna go find the best OVR for every position. It doesn't always have to be like that. And we've done it again through chemistry balancing and the different type of options and the things that we're being cognizant of when we're designing and choosing players. It's with these this Team Affinity in mind. And so when it comes with builders, we've got 16 challenges for you here when the game comes out. Go through and knock all those out. And then from there, you're going to have a choice of all 32 teams. And so, shocker, Krayla is going to pick the Seahawks. And then from there, you're going to see one offense and one defensive player from the Seahawks. They're both at 84 OVR. So you're going to be able to make that choice. So it's kind of a fantasy pack where you're going to get a double choice. You're going to choose the team first, and then you're going to go ahead and choose, do you want the offense or defensive player?
Cool. So, I'm also not going to spoil that. I think community members out there and even content creators may show that. So I wanted to kind of just touch on the basics. But Team Diamonds was something you were really passionate about last year when we talked about this, Jake. You guys were looking at signing some legends, signing some new players. Go ahead and talk to me about Team Diamonds this year.
Yeah, so slight, it's not quite the theme diamonds, it's team diamonds, but it's really the same thing. It's just, we're just going with the team vernacular this year. So it's a lot of what we, were able to do last year, which was going after and find some of these legends that maybe, really speak to kind of like the heart of that particular fan base. Sometimes it's for players who
I don't think I might be wrong.
We just haven't had in the game in quite some time. But maybe again, not like your everyday household name, but like the guys that are going to be super impactful for you as you're a fan of that team. And I think I saw you just have the Bears and the Jim Covert one, and some people like Jimbo Covert. He's actually somebody that was going. Well, I don't know if he's technically going into the Hall of Fame because I know they delayed the Hall of Fame. But anyway, he's part of this year's Hall of Fame class, left tackle for the Bears. So super cool. And I think you even have a list of all 32 of the guys.
And so just a heads up, in this I put Justin Covert, right? And I think I took that off someone's document. Jimbo Covert.
Oh no,
Bob Sanders.
Yeah, you know who you are, person over there.
Warwick
Dunn. The spreadsheets. Just kidding. We're just gonna banter a little bit so that you guys can see a lot of these names. Sorry that it is in 8.5.
Same with Don Telhart. My goodness.
Samuel.
So you got 49ers, Justin Smith. So this was like at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm putting this together. So if I butchered any of these names, guys, I'm sorry. All right, I'll work on it. Jake, if you need me to go ahead and
let me know if y'all can still hear them. I know you can hear me now. Let me know if you can still hear them though. Are they loud enough? But I was saying we got Bob Sanders, Dante Hall, Warwick Dunn.
So yeah, just going through this list. I mean, some of the ones.
Right? Yeah, I don't know who White is. We maybe.
I'll start with Warwick.
Amoybe, Okoye.
That one was really cool. Love Warwick and Michael.
Bye, Al Sub. Hey, appreciate it, Robert.
Those were some days.
I think y'all should still be able to hear them. I don't know.
Bob Sanders.
Who else we got? Asante Samuel, Rich Gannon, Jermichael Finley.
Both in real life, and I can still just remember the old Madden. And I always played Madden in a fantasy draft mode, and I would always I'm getting Troy Vincent. He's going to be in the secondary.
That's awesome.
Asante
but
Samuel,
it's good to see Dante Hall and Bob Sanders.
Like, when are we going to do this? Let's get him on. Let's get him in. Boom. We got him. He's in. Dre Bly. Always loved Dre Bly. That guy was always just something special. Super athletic. UNC guy. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, a lot of great names on there. Those are some of the few that stick out to me.
Yeah, Roddy White. I mean, I know a lot of people are excited about that, and then of course Max Strong. Seahawks. Okay, moving on. I'm going to leave here for 1 second, and then I'm going to transition off. Hopefully that gave people enough time. And again, I do apologize to you guys if it hasn't been properly edited or beautified from a formatting perspective. Just a lot to kind of get in there and format it just right late last night. So apologies if I misspelled any name. That's on me. You know what? Come at me. I get it. It's my fault. All right, let's talk about Legends. So Legends, there's going to be a little bit of a change to Legends. Do you want to talk about that, Jake, real quick?
Yeah, we could talk about Legends and this. I mean, between this and maybe
as long as we got Bo Jackson
into tease mode a little bit. So kind of pull the curtain back a little bit. When we go and we get after, or we start to identify a list and we want to go after and try to sign these players, we've been working through the NFLPA. That's been like kind of our primary way and continues to be a main way in which we go after and try to acquire.
We just need Bo Jackson, Randy Moss, Michael Vick,
another group to the fold with IMG, and with them they've also been another like really great partner and been able to help kind of secure some additional
Randy Moss. Did I already say Randy Moss?
Tony Romo,
Dion. Prime time. Can you do a career mode?
You've got
Yeah,
you know
most definitely,
like Sam Mills
Malachi.
and Andre Johnson. There's some more on that list, and I am definitely not going to spoil that here. But a lot of the people that we see kind of constantly woven into the conversation for guys that they would like to see return to Madden. There's a
John
decent chance we
Lynch.
might see them
Let's go.
at
We
some
need a
point this
John
year. So
Lynch.
really excited
Mike
about that.
Allstott.
I think it's going to make for just a great year and a lot of surprises to come.
Is that part of like what I hear in the office? Well, in the virtual office, the 50. Is that kind of what you're talking a little bit about?
We can dive into the 50 in a second. I don't want to disregard your Legends comment. Is that both of those players will kind of have like boss versions, if you will. I don't know if that's what we're officially calling them, but I know that's a vernacular that a lot of people will understand what that means. For those that don't, what that means is it's typically a +1 from what that set legend is.
For sure.
In this year, what it's really going to be is kind of it's almost like power up, like just straight shot past. So it's like not only is it +1, but it's like all the things that the power up would have had as well. Now the downside is the next time that particular legend gets another item, you don't just build off of the boss. Like you still need the power up. So like it's awesome, really great, like right now. But in terms of like the long-term investment, you're still going to want to go that power up. That boss will still be able to go into the power up, and so there's still a story there. But yeah, so
by career mode, you do mean like face of the franchise, right?
2 limiteds.
Face of the franchise, and then you just continue the career
August
mode
28th.
like
That's
right
not
after
the
that.
date, just to be clear, it's gonna be very close, right? So there'll be more information. Make sure to follow at EA Sports _MUT when we start tweeting out that kind of stuff. If we have an opportunity to preview these on Good Morning Madden, we'll do that as well. So let's talk about the 50 though. The 50, we hear 50 burger, we hear 50 cent. I mean, talk to us about this 50.
50 burger.
So, again, this is one where I'm going to probably be a little more vague than people want. I mean, people are going to have, I'm sure, a smart comment around the X factors around NFL 100. But I think by and large, the NFL 100 last year was just awesome, both in terms of the actual real life production value that the NFL Network and all their partners went into producing. That was something that like was just awesome to go and follow. And so when you think of the 50, this is going to be kind of our take on the 50, right? And it might not just be Madden Ultimate Team related players. This could just be Madden players. And so more on the 50 to come. It's not something we've talked about Legends. Legends might be the first thing on this podcast / stream that we've talked about that's not going to be there if you're able to get into the game during EA Play or early access. The 50 is another one of those things. It's just kind of, again, this is Kralo being cruel by adding this to the run of show to you guys. So this is something that's going to be out there and coming. It might be roughly a month or so, but when it starts dropping, be ready.
Right. And I know I won't talk about it now. I was gonna ask the other question, which was the other item in the run of show that I just deleted. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm in the moment. Okay, nope. In the moment. Okay, good stuff. I tried. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about other MUT stuff. So this is where I'm going to run through some things. I'm sure you guys are going to have some questions about other MUT stuff, and that's like solo battles, house rules, weekend league, MUT dedication, MUT levels, EA Play, which is formerly EA Access. For those folks that don't know, EA Access kind of it changed the name to EA Play. Earlier today, there was an announcement. Solo battles will be coming back. My understanding is that it will probably be there. We'll find the date. So we're still trying to get some information on the dates. We'll get the information and we'll tweet it out. Let me double check my calendar here. And
if this is there early with EA Access, I feel like that's kind of cheating.
It will either be coming out. I'm going to confirm.
Because you only get 10 hours.
Solo battles will be there. We'll let you guys know. Also, MUT dedication will be back. So if you do your weeklies and you do your dailies and your daily engagements and MUT level, you'll find all that information there as well. You guys have seen these objective lists before. The objective lists are pretty much the same. You'll complete these and whatnot. And then you'll also go ahead and get your daily missions. You can complete those to get various items. Now, talking about MUT levels, this is something the community just loves to
Beasley,
talk
what's up,
about.
homie?
I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. EA Access is going to be happening on August 21st. I know there's a lot of stuff out there that you guys are seeing that says maybe it's August 20th. The official date is August 21st. If things happen earlier, we'll make sure to let you guys know. We're just being told August 21st. We're going to stick with that date. I also know that EA Play or EA Access Origin, they kind of have unique stuff out there. But again, just a heads up, August 21st is the date we're told. If anything changes, we're going to be happy to tweet that out to let you guys know so you can go ahead and get involved in the game. So here are just some screenshots. Level 7 is when you're going to go ahead and unlock your MUT. You're going to go ahead and unlock your level master. That's, I think, when you get your Andre Johnson, you'll get your master token. These are just some screens. I only took a few for you guys. Like I said, I don't want to spoil it. Level 10, you got this power-up pass. You're going to still have those premium exclusive store offers that are out there. And then I took a screenshot of level 50. Why? Because everyone wants to know when you get level 50, you're going to get a power-up pass. If there's unique store offers and other things, I do not know. I don't have any information on that. But what I do invite you guys to be a part of it, if you guys are EA Access members, which we call it now EA Play, you can go ahead and play these exclusive early access challenges. Huge shout out to Elliot and Joey and trying to get all this stuff up there to earn a random elite player. These challenges expire at 11:59 p.m. Eastern on August 24th, so don't miss your chance. So again, there will be some ultimate challenges there during EA Access. I know you guys are going to be wise in trying to use your time. This is one of those things that you'll be able to go ahead and get ahead of the curve when it comes down to getting like a player item for your team. The other thing I'm going to talk about real quick here, Jake, is loyalty. A lot of people, there's a lot of questions that you guys may have that we're not going to answer all in this stream. We'll be checking out on @Madden NFL Direct. We'll tweet things out as we get information. Some of the questions that we went and we asked the live service team to understand what was going on. Loyalty. So last year, if you guys were part of the Madden Rewards MVP program or loyalty program, if you played Madden in certain years, you got a fantasy pack that had 6 players in it or it had a various amount of players. That's going to happen this year. So if you played Madden 18, you played Madden 19, you played Madden 20. So let's say I played Madden 18, 19, and 20. I'm going to get 3 of these packs with these players. I'll show them to you that you can go ahead and choose from. So, but let's say you just played Madden 18. You decide, I ain't playing Madden 19, definitely not playing Madden 20. Then you're just going to get something from Madden 18, kind of thing. So,
and specifically during that product year. So
yes.
It's like you can go get Madden 18 tonight and be ready to go. Like it had to be played during that time frame, but everything else, yep, you're on the money. So yeah, in that case, if you were to play all 3, you're gonna get 3 of these packs. They're the same pack.
No sound, you can't hear?
And you can choose,
I can turn it up
in each of it. So they're all 82 overalls. So if you get, these packs, don't choose the same person. Go ahead and choose 3 different people to help your team out.
Yep. And so I'm just running through these. So we have Andre Whitworth. We have DeMarcus Lawrence. We have Darius Leonard. I think I showed, Darius Leonard, Emmanuel Sanders. We have Mark Ingram. And we have Patrick Peterson. So just wanted to share those with you guys, give you guys a little bit of a heads up on what's going on. I'll cycle through them backwards for those people that may have just missed them.
And probably super obvious to folks watching this, but these are the non-auctionable tradable version of the core elite. So what that means is you can put this into that particular player's power up and kind of satisfy that requirement as well.
Good stuff. Jake, you know what? Something's happening in Holiday. It's not content. It's actually consoles. Let's talk about that. People have been asking a lot of questions regarding console transitions. So, we know with next gen, we're going to have these new consoles. Talk to me a little bit about that and kind of what the approach will be for Madden Ultimate Team. I know we put a little teaser out in the article with some information. I know there's still more information to come as we're working through those logistics, but just to give some of our players some information, can you talk about that?
Yeah, no, it's important to level set with players. And so we can talk about some of the key things. And as you mentioned, we will have an additional blog or post later on. But the last time when we go back to the last console transition, the way that we kind of handled that was you had a one-time push of your content. So whatever, if you were playing on PS3 and you wanted to, whatever you had at that time, you took a snapshot of it and you pushed it to PS4, and that's kind of how you continued your Ultimate Team journey. This year, it's going to be a little bit different. So everything that's in your item binder, everything that's in your, kind of top user bar, things like coins or your points, those are all things that are just going to kind of live in the same ecosystem, if you will, no matter which particular, console that you're on. The key thing here, though, is that you do have to stay within the same console family. So an Xbox One needs to go to Series X, and then the same thing for a PS4 going to a PS5. That's kind of how that rolls. You can't cross families in that regard and still get sort of the same benefits.
Got it.
But yeah, so anything that you do at that point is 1-to-1. And so again, let's think of a kind of a crazy situation where you go and you make the transition. Something happens, you leave it, or hey, I'm gonna leave my PS5 at home while I take the PS4 to grandma's. Like, you can do that, and then you're just gonna be able to pick right back up with exactly where you were in your Ultimate Team.
Got it. So they'll coexist, it sounds like. So your coins, coexist. Your training, your points within the same family of the console, all that will transfer over and they'll coexist at that time. So, okay, that's good to know. I really appreciate you taking the time just to answer that question. We've had a lot of people asking about that. So, and like when we get closer to next gen, we'll definitely share more information with you guys, and we'll kind of be back to do that stuff and whatnot. I'm trying to think, Jake, is there anything else that I'm trying to have that Steve Jobs moment, where it's like one last thing.
One more thing. I don't think I have a one more thing. You're going to have to pull the one more thing out for me if I'm just blatantly forgetting about it. The thing that I'm remembering is how we promised everybody we wouldn't be going 2 hours this year, and we're clocking in at 1:15 now. So
yep, exactly.
That's what I have.
7:44. I'm looking at 8 o'clock to get skedaddle out of here. What I do want to talk about is ratings. So a lot of you guys are probably wondering what's going on with ratings. Can we see stuff related to ratings? We went ahead and tweeted out like the top 3 MUT players per team. Right, that was out there earlier today. Huge shout out to Paige for getting those assets created and also helping with that. Huge, shout out to all the people on the social channels doing various things there as well. The top 7 MUT players were tweeted out the day before. We've been working with MUThead, and they've always been just great at kind of getting this information out for you guys. I want to highlight one thing, guys. MUThead will tweet out from their channel when they are ready to go ahead and get this out there. They're trying to get this out to you guys by tonight. So I granted you could at MUThead and just tell them, hey, what's going on? But they're working with our teams to get this out there for you guys. Huge shout out to Rockets and a lot of those folks behind the scenes that we've been working with. Always a pleasure. And whatnot. I'll come back to this while we close out the stream to leave this up there. The URL is there. It's www.muthead.com/21/players. They'll have the elite players. They'll have
Isaiah Richburg,
gold, silver.
I appreciate you.
I think they may have some of the program players we talked about here as well. So definitely go check that out. Gridiron Notes, a huge shout out to Nat Gibbs. Guys, that article that was put together for the Yard, Nat Gibbs was working with JP. JPA, if you are watching, I hope you're watching. Thank you so much for all your support, giving us a developer perspective when it came down to this. You did a great job with Superstar KO. Great job again with the Yard. And I know a lot of other team members as well fed into that. So I know I'm leaving folks on the teams out. I just want you to know every one of you guys are valued. I wish I could just have a sheet and just shout you out all the time. You guys have been absolutely great. Gridiron Notes will be there. We did have Nat Gibbs get this all set up. I think it might have gone live around 7:30. So Nat Gibbs, if you're in the chat and we're in Slack, hit me up in our specific thread and say we're good to go. Make sure to follow at EA Sports_MUT at Madden NFL Direct. They will go ahead and tweet that stuff out. The last thing that I want to talk about is pre-orders. We've done this each stream to kind of let people know if you're going to go ahead and get the MVP edition. These are the items that you're going to get here. One thing I noticed is that the Lamar Jackson elite item with power up is actually the elite item Lamar Jackson, right? So you guys saw that. It's kind of a nice little start. Check out the gridiron notes. We detailed out who all those players are and 17 gold team fantasy packs. I'm just going to cycle through here. We have the deluxe edition. If you decide to get the deluxe edition and still get 3 days early access. Not Gibbs says, yeah, Gridiron Notes is live. EA Sports _Mutt tweeted it out. Rockets is firing up the database right now with Rocket Fuel to kind of get that out there for you guys. And then here's just your standard edition. The reason I wanted to show all this to you guys again is because huge shout out to the messaging team and the art team for getting us there. I know last year there was a little bit of some confusion when people saw kind of like this graphic. Just so you know, if you get the standard edition, you're getting your choice of a uniform pack, your choice of 1 of 32 elite players, and it says 5 Mutt Gold Team Fantasy Packs. Last year, what was interesting is people would go all the way to the far right of the graphic and say, I only got 12 Mutt Gold Team Fantasy Packs, and it said that I was supposed to get 17. I don't know why I'm doing in that voice. It's just more like I'm trying to act as like I'm frustrated, because it is frustrating when you see that kind of stuff on screen. That being said, everything is coupled with the standard edition rewards. So huge shout out to the messaging team for highlighting that out. You'll see deluxe edition at the top, and then you'll see standard edition rewards. You can claim those, kind of what's going on there. My understanding is that when this stuff goes live, happen right around worldwide launch. So that's going to be August 28th. I also believe loyalty might also be on worldwide launch on August 28th. I think, did I say loyalty? I could be wrong with loyalty. It's either worldwide launch or it's when we have you can get into the game on the 25th. There's a lot of dates going around. I just want to acknowledge that there are dates when this stuff will come out. We'll work with our teams to get that information out there and tweet it out. We do know EA Access is August 21st, right? So a lot of the stuff that you saw today is going to be there on August 21st for EA Access. For some of these things, when it comes to pre-orders are based on the dates, right? So when you go ahead and log in, when it goes live with your pre-order, that stuff should be there. The other things, like I said, rookie premiere, loyalty programs, all that kind of stuff, we'll figure that information out. We'll tweet out on @Madden NFL Direct. We'll work with other team members. Also get on @EA Sports _Mutt. That was a lot to say. Did I miss anything? Not Gibbs. Go. Let me know. Jake, I missed anything? Go. Anything else?
Nothing.
We got 10 minutes. But we don't have to fill in the 10 minutes, man. We targeted to be done by 8. We're done by 8. He says we're good. So good stuff.
Here we go.
Great job. Thank you, Not Gibbs. Great job, Jake. Guys, again, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't talk about today. Some of that stuff, again, you'll be able to find it in the Mutthead. Let me go ahead and put that up there real quick for Mutthead, those ratings. Definitely go check that out. It's always a fun time to see the community going back and forth and talking about the gems that are in the game that they'll want to use on day one, kind of building out their squad. So definitely go check that out. Again, Rockets, thank you so much for all your help and just kind of getting this out there for the community. Really do appreciate it. I know one thing that we've talked about in the past is Madden Voice. So Madden Voice is kind of like that community platform where we're going to go and work with you guys to get feedback, get your voice heard. We're still working through that. One of the things that we're trying to find out is what's the right way? Is the right way to go ahead and open up Madden Voice after we release some title update notes, give our community, 72 hours to give us feedback in that platform, consolidate all the information, get it to our developers. We're trying to find the best strategy, more detail.
Okay, I know you see it. We ain't even gonna pay too much attention to that, We ain't gonna pay too much attention to the icons in the top left right there. We ain't gonna pay them no attention. What we are gonna do though, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats, dogs, and frogs, my name is Daryus P. I might have to move me. Let's move me to the side a little bit. I'll put myself in the top, I guess in this top right-hand corner over here. I guess that is a much that's a much better spot, right? Much better spot. Anyways, let's go over these players, and I want to see who's the fastest. Who is where's speed? Speed. Am I tripping? Oh, here we go. Here we go. What the? Did I not do this? Speed. Okay, no, I'm doing the wrong thing then. Rating. Yeah, supposed to do it right here. Here we go. Speed. No, not spectacular catch. I just need to see who I'm getting first. Probably Tyreek Hill. Let's be honest. Speed. Balanced running back. Who the 99 speed? Buddy, what are we talking about? All right, I don't think they have. Let me do this real quick. Yeah, that's definitely not it. Let me yeah. Uh let's try this by overall. All right, so they don't have that. They don't have that up yet. Michael Thomas, Patrick Mahomes, of course. Can we do this? Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson. How honestly, Russell Wilson might be the quarterback to get. 78 speed, 73 speed, 85 throwing the pressure, 86, 80 throwing the run though. Throw on the run, 87, 86. Lamar Jackson has an 86. Throw accuracy deep, 87, 84. Medium, 86, 88. Short, 85. I think, but that 88 speed is, whoo. Oh, I just put overall. I'm looking at quarterbacks right now. This is just quarterbacks. Right now, we're just looking at quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes at the top, of course. Then Russell Wilson, Lamar. The thing is, I get this. The Madden 21 reward. I'm getting this Lamar Jackson. That throw actually deep is only a 78 and medium only a 76. Also get Bingen too though, which I'm definitely gonna be using this. Tony Romo, the GOAT. Be getting him too. Now, like I said, I'm gonna be doing no money spent team. Let's go through all the quarterbacks. Tom Brady all the way down here. Aaron Rodgers all the way down. Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Drew Brees. The Man 21 reward, Patrick Mahomes is only an 82 overall. Running backs, who's the best? Christian McCaffrey at 85 speed. Derrick Henry also 85 speed with an 80. Why are their elusiveness not up there? Oh, I forgot because Eddie George, bruh. They really had to put my man. Eddie George probably gonna be my team captain. It's so many Eddie Georges. Adrian Peterson. I got the ultimate super high MVP, whatever the highest one is. I think it's the ultimate edition. But I can already tell you I'll definitely be getting Eddie George. I'm just gonna make Eddie George my team captain. Like I say, I'm doing no money spent, so just get Eddie George as my team captain, 85 speed, which is I'm thinking if this will even do right. Okay, Christian McCaffrey is the fastest. They're all 85 speed. Oh, I had it on overall also. Can we filter, please? This is definitely not right. And they still showing these like balanced to it's not showing right. They got to update the site. Anyways, I'm just gonna look at receivers, then I'm gonna be done. See, what is this? Michael Thomas, team captain Ed McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's dad. For those of you who don't know, he played with well, as you can see, he played with the Broncos, won Super Bowl with John Elway and the guys, Terrell Davis, Shannon Sharp. He won a Super Bowl with them. Very, very good receiver. Tyreek here at 90 speed. Definitely got to be the fastest person in the game. Starting off at 90 speed, this will probably be the most expensive card in the game at the beginning. Most likely. 88 is the highest, yeah. How many 88s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 88s. Aaron Donald, definitely going to have him. All right, guys. That is going to be it for me. That is going to be it for me. Thank you all for coming to the stream. Most likely, unless I hear something back, I will be playing. I will be playing Madden 21. It's looking so beautiful right there. I will be playing it on the 20th. Look for me Thursday morning. That's when you guys should see me Thursday morning. Until then, well, I'm gonna upload. Earlier, I uploaded like the Super Bowl of my Madden 20 career mode, and later on tonight, we'll upload the ending, like Madden 21 ending. No, Madden 20 career mode ending. Gonna show you my career stats, the Hall of Fame, the retirement, all of that good stuff. That will be coming up later. They'll be coming up later tonight. And then tomorrow won't be a video unless I make some things shake and we get it even earlier. But on the 20th, most definitely. Anyways, thanks for watching.